Hey, so after getting back to this YouTube thing and putting this video off for a bit too long, it's time to continue fixing Pokemon games. This time we attempt to fix Johto. HeartGold SoulSilver. This way I reel in all the extra features from the newer games and simply focus on how to fix them. Okay, personally, I don't really like these games. I know, a very original take. They were made in mind with being both a continuation of Kanto, yet at the same time it's meant to be its own story. And while if done correctly can be fun for the older people, I feel like they might have undercooked the region a bit. Don't get me wrong, it's cool to see the old characters again, but when playing a new game I just want to focus on the new lore, characters, and Pokemon more than just reliving nostalgia. I'm well aware that only somewhat recently they gave actual personality and backstory to the gym leaders, but the fact that they use the "I lost but I'm not gonna give you my badge" trope twice in a single game is a little odd. And it's not like Game Freak had only one attempt to fix their mistakes. First they had Pokemon Crystal, and then they had like 10 years to look back and tinker a little bit on the gameplay, but not even then. I mean, sure, the aesthetics of the games got much better. I can think of the part where you like go to the burnt tower, no, not the burnt tower, the Ho-Oh tower, and like, yo, that place, and like, that's pretty cool, and like the sprite work, delicious. But the gameplay, so like the Pokemon battles, I feel like kinda got worse, since they kinda just ported them without barely any rebalancing. Anyhow, enough hate talking about Johto, let's get into it. I'm also gonna be adding onto this fix by also changing the teams of Team Rocket and the rival battles. I'll be adding them in order of when you encounter them, that way there's no confusion. This might increase the video length, but I do want to attempt these after I complete the series, so it must be done. So, let's begin with the rival, Silver. But before we continue, I want to talk about Silver as a character. We know a bit about him. He's Giovanni's son and hates everything weak, from weak Pokemon to people. He also reminds me a lot of Paul from the anime, which I assume got a lot of inspiration from Silver, which means, in regard to his teams, they would be all over the place at first. There will be Pokemon dropped after losing to the player. With that in mind, let's cook up, his first team. After stealing the starter Pokemon, he'll have one more Pokemon, that being a Zubat. This way the game also teaches the player about the cave being nearby. He will be level 2, and for the movesets, I don't want to do anything crazy, but he will have 2 egg moves, those being Hypnosis and Quick Attack. Then the starter level will increase to 6. And, that's about it, regular movesets. So now let's make our way to Violet City to challenge the first gym leader, Falkner. Falkner is the flying type specialist, although he seems more of a bird specialist than anything. He suffers from Johto being Kanto 2.0, as such he doesn't have a single Johto Pokemon, which consists of a Pidgey and a Pidgeotto, having a level cap of 9 in the original games and 13 in the remakes. It's another trainer that cheated in his ace Pokemon or went to Alola and SOS Shane did. But yeah, my main gripe with his team is just too little Johto. So let's fix that. The flying type Pokemon from Johto are the Noctowl line, Ledian line, Crobat, Togetic, Xatu line, Hoppip line, Yanma, Murkrow, Gligar, Delibird, Mantine, Skarmory, yes, this is from Gen 2, and the Box legendaries. So the legendaries don't work here for obvious reasons. Don't want to give him any bugs since Bugsy is next, and Crobat and Mantine are a bit too strong. Togetic seems to be a player exclusive Pokemon, and Gligar and Delibird don't really suit him. Same goes for Skarmory. But one thing I do know is that I want his ace to be Noctowl because it's the bird of Johto. So that leaves us with the Hoppip line, Hoothoot, Natu line, and Murkrow. But let's start with the number of Pokemon he should have. I was debating on giving him 3, and while having a fully evolved Pokemon as an ace for the first gym is a bit much, Geodude just exists. And so to counter that, he will get a Hoppip. But wait, no, the base T is actually horrendous, so Skiploom it is. That leaves us one last Pokemon, Hoothoot. To somewhat mirror the original Falkner team, and I didn't want to give him Murkrow since it's somewhat linked with Team Rocket, and then Natu line is Wills. So yeah, I think I like this team. Not a single Kanto Pokemon in sight as things should be. But you might be saying, isn't this team a bit too strong? It's honestly fine. You can obtain a Mareep in the Pokemon Center, same goes for Slugma, and Geodude is still doing God's work. So let's begin with the movesets. Hoothoot level 9 with the ability Insomnia, Wing Attack, Mud Slap, Hypnosis, and Roost. Then comes Skiploom, level 11, Chlorophyll ability, Bullet Seed, Aerial Ace, Reflect, and Synthesis. Last but not least, the ace Noctowl, level 13 with the Keen Eye ability and holding an Oranberry, with the moves Air Cutter, Uproar, Nightshade, and Roost. These changes are meant to make the gym leader somewhat more difficult, but at the same time more representative of what the gym leader is and Johto. As we make it to Azalea Town, we see that Team Rocket is up to no good, and after getting help from Kurt, here is where we first meet Executive Proton. And if I'm being honest, I'm not given much to work with. He's only been seen with the Zubat and Coughing line, so I had to come up with a Pokemon that would become his eventual ace. And from what we know, Proton is labeled as the scariest and cruelest of Team Rocket. It also remains one of the more popular executives, and apparently a grunt from the radio tower admits how she admires him, which at least gives us some information about him. He also apparently seems to be very easily aggravated. So angry, cruel, and cool and scary Pokemon. Yeah, I guess. When I think of angry Pokemon, I think of my most hated Pokemon, Gyarados. Yeah, I hate the guy. I also think of Primeape, but those are from Gen 1, right? So, Gen 2 angry Pokemon, from the top of my head, only seems to be Gramble. Those fangs are terrifying. We'll go with that. But since I can't just give him a fully evolved Pokemon and call it a day, his team would gain an extra member and swap the Zubat and the Coughing for a Tentacool and a Mankey. For the moveset, since he's an executive, his Pokemon will have a TM move and a Nag move, and something special. I will also be slightly increasing his level since the gym's level cap is 17. So here it goes. First Pokemon is going to be Tentacool, level 13 Clear Body ability, with the moves Aurora Beam, Water Pulse, Acid, and Destiny Bond. Then comes Mankey, level 14, with the Anger Point ability, with the moves Ice Punch, Karate Chop, Mach Punch, and Bulk Up. And then last but not least, a Snubbull, level 15, with the Intimidate ability, Poison Fang, Fire Fang, Bite, and Thunder Wave. For those viewers that for some reason know the exact learn set and egg moveset for Snubbull, hi, I didn't know you were real, but you know that Snubbull can't learn Poison Fang. The reason for me to not only give it to him, but also to the rest of his team, is that in this game, Team Rocket is most known for doing experiment onto Pokemon. Thus, in order to somewhat show this point, without blatantly telling it to the player, they will know moves that they normally shouldn't. And yeah, after a tough fight with Proton, because this guy can be a little tough, we can then go over to challenge Bugsy. And he needs help. He has a Scyther, Kakuna, and Metapod. So 2 useless Pokemon and a Scyther, which is decently strong. I'll give you that. But another team that has 0 Johto Pokemon. I wonder if this is a reoccurring thing. Anyhow, time to change things up, of course. The Johto bugs are the Leddybeline, Spinarak, Yanma, Pineco, Scizor, Shuckle, and Heracross. So it's time to make very radical changes. I want more Johto representation, but his Scyther is just extremely iconic. So I can either say don't care and switch it to Heracross, give them both because bugs are weak, or evolve his Scyther. And after consulting me, myself, and I, this is what I came up to, in which he will get both Heracross and Scyther. Don't worry, it'll be fine. So that leaves 2 Pokemon left, the options being Spinarak, Leddyba, Shuckle, and Yanma. From those, as much as I like the Spinarak and Leddyba line, they are way too weak, thus we give him Shuckle and Yanma. Yanma is my favorite bug-type Pokemon from Johto, so that's another reason why. It's not the best reason, but it is a reason, and it kind of fits him. So his team is Shuckle, Yanma, Heracross, and Scyther. A fun team for, you know, someone that can be steamrolled by almost everything that's available. And now we go into the movesets. Shuckle is level 15 with the Gluttony ability holding an Oranberry, with the moves Mudslap, Rollout, String Shot, and Bite. You can clearly see what Shuckle is trying to do. Then comes Yanma, level 15, Speed Boost ability, with the moves Sonic Boom, Double Team, Tailwind, and Foresight. Then comes Heracross, level 16, with the Guts ability, with the moves Aerial Ace, Fury Cutter, Rock Smash, and Endure. And last but not least, the ace Scyther, level 17, Technician ability, holding the Silver Powder, with the moves Fury Cutter, Quick Attack, Focus Energy, and U-Turn. Don't get me wrong, it's a strong team, but honestly, bug types kinda need to be somewhat ahead of the curve in order to have some kind of difficulty in their fights, especially since most bug type moves are weak in the base power department. Also, if you're saying I'm crazy to give him Heracross, you too can headbutt a tree and just get a Heracross yourself. In any case, after this we have the next silver fight at the exit/entrance to the Ilex forest. This time his starter has evolved and now has added a Ghastly onto his team. Now is when I start to change the movesets a little bit. The levels will also go up, but yeah, Ghastly, used to be level 14, now 15, with the Levitate ability. The moves Hypnosis, Mean Look, Curse, and Nightshade. Zubat went up a level from 16 to 17. Inner Focus ability, Wing Attack, Bite, Roost, Hypnosis. And now into the starters. Crocona, level 18, Torn ability with the Citrus Berry, with the moves Bite, Aqua Jet, Headbutt, and Leer. Then comes for the grass, Bayleaf, level 18, Overgrow ability, Citrus Berry, and the moves Razor Leaf, Ancient Power, Synthesis, and Leech Seed. And then for fire, Quilava, level 18, Blaze ability, Citrus Berry, Flame Wheel, Headbutt, Smokescreen, and Foresight. Alrighty, onto the third gym leader, Whitney. She is the closest thing to perfect. So much so that at last, she has a Johto originated Pokemon. This is massive, crazy. It took a few gyms, so we got there. Her theme is cute pink normal type Pokemon. Not the most thought-provoking, but at least it's something. Now onto the options, those being Clefairy, Jigglypuff, Chansey, Snubbull, and of course Miltank. I wanted to have 4 Pokemon. Clefairy, Miltank, of course, stay, and I'll be giving her Jigglypuff and Snubbull. I think it fits her quite well, and it's cute pink Pokemon. And yes, that counts Snubbull as well. It has a face that only a mother could love, but god damn it, it is cute to them. In any case, let's do movesets. Clefairy level 17 with the Q-Charm ability with the moves Wish, Icy Wind, Metronome, and Amnesia. Then comes Snubbull level 18, Intimidate ability holding the Muscle Band with the moves Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, Headbutt, and Attract. Jigglypuff level 17, Q-Charm ability, Defense Curl, Rollout, Attract, and Wish. And then of course, last but not least, Miltank level 19, Scrappy ability holding a Lumberry with the moves Attract, Stomp, Rollout, and Milk Drink. I will say, might have gotten carried away with some of the movesets, but giving coverage options is something I feel is lacking in most vanilla fights. As a character, she is meant to be this extremely talented trainer that attracted the Pokemon League themselves, so I feel like gameplay wise, it should show that by giving her coverage. In any case, she is kind of meant to be the first wall of the game. I'm not sure if I did that because Morty will happen. But it's a tough fight, especially if you have male Pokemon. But yeah, in any case, I think the team is pretty good. Tough, but good. So now for the final silver fight of this video, it's at the Burnt Tower right before fighting Morty. He will catch an Abra on Route 34 and his levels will change. Also, headcanon wise, he has beaten Morty already, so he'll have the TM for Shadow Ball. Here's the movesets. Ghastly will go from level 20 to 21 with the Levitate ability with the moves Hypnosis, Mean Look, Paris Song, and Shadow Ball. Golbat, so yes, Zubat evolves, will be level 22 with the Inner Focus ability with the moves Brave Bird, Bite, Roost, and Hypnosis. Magnemite will go from level 18 to level 20 with the Magnet Pool ability with the moves Thunderbolt, Sonic Boom, Metal Sound, and Thunder Wave. Then Kadabra level 21 with the Synchronize ability with the moves Confusion, Disable, Encore, and Kinesis. And then for the starter, Crocona level 22, Torn ability holding a Citrus Berry with the moves Bite, Aqua Jet, Ice Fang, and Headbutt. And then for Bayleaf, level 22, Overgrow ability holding the Citrus Berry with the moves Magical Leaf, Ancient Power, Synthesis, and Leech Seed. And then for Quilava, level 22, Blaze ability holding the Citrus Berry with the moves Flame Wheel, Headbutt, Smokescreen, and Foresight. And of course, lastly Morty, the Ghost type specialist. So here we have an issue. The Ghost type only has 2 different species in Generation 2, which means we are forced to go for a more thematic approach. So when I say the word Ghost type, Pokemon that would be considered spooky come to mind, of course. These Pokemon also like to, play tricks with people, play with their minds. So it would be Pokemon that play with your mind and Ghost types. Another thing we could take into account is the type weakness. So what types are weak to Ghost and Dark types? Psychics. Okay, Psychic vibes also work well with this. So this way he still remains weak to the Dark and Ghost types and kind of fits him thematically. So we'll start by giving him the Ghost types, those being Gengar and Mismagius. For the Psychics, I want to make it somewhat in theme for him and what he does. And Drowzee kind of makes sense, I guess. And then the last one to throw a wrench into everything, Standler. I feel like makes more sense than Drowzee. I mean, his Pokedex entry talk about how, his horns can shift reality. So I feel like it works. Anyways, here are the moves. Drowzee, level 24 with an Insomnia ability, holding a wide lens, with the moves Psybeam, Shadow Ball, Nasty Plot, and Hypnosis. Stantler, level 23, with the Intimidate ability, holding a Twisted Spoon, with the moves Zen Headbutt, Headbutt, Disable, and Hypnosis. Then Gengar, level 25, Levitate ability, with the moves Shadow Ball, Giga Drain, Curse, and Will-O-Wisp. And then Miss Magius, level 25, Levitate ability, and holding a Citrus Berry, with the moves Shadow Ball, Magical Leaf, Icy Wind, and Nasty Plot. So, this team is, I guess, the first true wall of everything, and I kind of want it since, you know, the Ghost type is very weird in Generations 1 and 2. Kind of wanted to show it by making him have 2 aces. I don't know if it makes sense that much, because I guess an ace kind of is just meant to be 1, you know, but he gets 2 aces. So yeah, it's definitely a very tough fight, but overall I really enjoy these changes. I know I made the fights harder, but I mainly wanted to represent Johto in the region of Johto. And also, it's a kids game that old people play, so you know, there's that. I know that people might talk about Bugsy having a stacked team BST-wise, but I personally think it's not that bad, since most of the time, you'd steamroll his team, and Heracross will get OHKO'd by a wing attack, so hey, there's that. I'd also be committing sin by not talking about the Morty fight. While I originally wanted to, you know, Whitney to still be a wall, and I think she still is. Like, I got lucky because I had a all-female team. I might have made Morty the actual check for just like leaving early game. It took me multiple attempts to beat, and it forced me to use Pokemon which I would have never used, so that was a nice surprise. But yeah, now onto the silver fights. They definitely got much, well, better, harder, same thing. Since, well, not really, but you know what I mean. Since the movesets they used to have weren't the best to begin with, I mainly gave Silver what the player has access to. This goes from the Thunderbolt TM you can obtain in the game corner to teaching the starters Headbutt. The only thing that differentiates the starters Silver has to the players is the fact that they get egg moves. The main reason for me giving him egg moves is to make the Chikorita line a bit harder to beat. I know it's not the best reason, but yeah, that's why the egg moves for the others aren't that crazy. Totodile gets Aqua Jet, a not very strong water type move, and sure, it's priority, but it's still not that good. And then Cyndaquil gets Foresight, which just gives him the ability to hit like ghost types with normal type attacks. In any case, my throat is dying. I need to drink water. You should drink water. Fix your posture maybe, you know, something like that. Hope you have a lovely day, week, month, or year. And thanks for stopping by.